Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the book that makes Americans ask themselves, what the hell do I need my college degree for? Author Robert Kiyosaki, a man who proves that you can become extremely rich just by writing about wealth, genius, the dual dad drama. The entire book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, is a long drama that Robert Kiyosaki created to explain why he did not listen to his biological father, Poor Dad, a highly educated but dirt poor man. 1. Poor Dad, the academic liability. Poor Dad is the classic example of the failed American dream. A man with a PhD, the director of education, which means he's basically the smartest person in the room, but the poorest. Core mindset: study hard, get a steady job, work for the government, and wait for your retirement. Mantra: I can't afford that. The magic of turning opportunity into procrastination. Belief system: safety is king. Money is the root of all evil, and having multiple degrees will never be a sin. He's a sad example of why every modern American is drowning in student debt. You go to school for 16 years, get a PhD, and the result? You're still more afraid of real estate transactions than a sexually transmitted disease. Great vision, Doc. 2. Rich Dad, the eighth grade oracle. Rich Dad is Mike's best friend's father, an eighth grade dropout entrepreneur. He's the perfect anti-hero for the public education system, proving that you can build an empire without knowing the Pythagorean theorem. Core mindset: build assets, make money work for you, and never rely on a paycheck. Mantra: how can I afford that? The magic of turning obstacles into business plans. Belief system: risk is opportunity. Lack of money is the root of all evil, so earn a lot to avoid that evil. This is the model every American wants to be: street smart, uneducated, and always laughing at the IRS on the way to the bank. He's a slap in the face to every economics professor out there. 8 years of study have done what poor father's 20 years of study could not. Analysis of the main theme: not just a book, it's a rebellion. This book doesn't just teach you about money, it's a revolt against the old economic order. 1. Redefining assets versus liabilities, the financial fight club. This is Kiyosaki's most famous lesson, and it's embarrassingly simple. Traditional definition: assets are things of value, house, car, jewelry. Rich Dad definition: analysis: asset, something that puts money in your pocket, dividend stocks, cash-flowing rental properties, businesses. Liability: something that takes money out of your pocket, house with a large mortgage, new car with installments and insurance, credit cards. Kiyosaki claims that your dream home, the ultimate symbol of the American dream, is actually a giant liability. Thank you, Robert. Now, when I look at my 30-year mortgage, I don't see a house. I see a money-sucking monster gasping for more property taxes. That's why the middle class is stuck. They buy liabilities thinking they're assets. They're really just buying expensive toys to prove to their neighbors that they've made it. 2. Escape the rat race, the American treadmill. Kiyosaki calls middle-class life the rat race. What is the vicious cycle? Analysis: you go to work, get paid, spend, get taxed, work harder to get a raise, then buy a bigger house, newer car, a liability, and so on. Your living expenses increase with your income. You work hard to pay for a lavish lifestyle, and you can never quit. Vicious cycle? Sounds like my daily life. Every time I get a raise, I immediately find myself in front of an Apple store or a car dealership. That's not ambition, that's financial ignorance. Kiyosaki doesn't just want you to win the race, he wants you to sell that treadmill. Most Americans never break out because they've been taught that working 80 hours a week is ethical, not smart. 3. Financial literacy, the secret weapon. Bottom line, school teaches you how to work for money. Rich Dad teaches you how to have money work for you. Financial literacy, analytical. It's not about knowing how to spend money, it's about understanding accounting, investing, markets, and law. Rich people use this knowledge to create deals and take advantage of tax laws. In school, I learned how to find X. In real life, I need to find the biggest tax loophole. Kiyosaki wants you to learn how to read financial statements as if they were a menu at a fine dining restaurant. Because if you don't understand the rules, the government and banks will eat your cut. Basically, rich people are playing chess, poor people are playing checkers, and they don't know the rules of chess. American Review: Why It Went Nuclear. Rich Dad, Poor Dad became a global phenomenon because it touched the most sensitive nerves of American culture: distrust of the system and the desire to get rich quick. 1. The delicious cynicism. The positive. The book is extremely inspirational and a great starting point for anyone who wants to change their financial thinking. The negative, satirical review. Kiyosaki only provides philosophy, not practical strategies. He is like a coach who says, to win a championship, you have to score more points than your opponent. Well, duh. Many financial critics in the US call this book a motivational book rather than an investment guide. Warning, don't just read Kiyosaki and then go buy a rental property without knowing the local laws. You'll soon become a debt dad. 2. The allure of the 1%. What Americans love about this book is that it allows them to think like a high-level capitalist. Kiyosaki turns tax avoidance into an art form. Rich people create corporations to get tax breaks. This is the mantra every small business owner is whispering in their sleep. In America, creating a corporation isn't about selling products. It's a legal tax shield. Kiyosaki makes greed ethical. He makes you feel, if you don't use tax loopholes, it's your fault, not the system's. 3. The American Takeaway. This book has created a generation of Americans who, instead of going to work from 9 to 5, are sitting at home reading financial statements, learning about REITs, and trying to figure out how to turn that old bicycle into a profitable asset. In short, if you're American, this book is like a close friend telling you straight in the face, you're not poor because you're stupid. You're poor because you play by someone else's rules. And that's why it's still on the bestseller shelf. It gives you license to be greedy, smart, and ultimately, free. Disclaimer: this is satirical analysis. Please consult a financial professional before using your wealth to buy a private jet that you think is an asset. That's all for today's video. Like, share, and click the subscribe button with notification bell to see new videos soon.